Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dota 2 Canada Cup here on High Ground TV. I'm What Is Hip. With me today is Hippie. So we have Hip Squared, and I'm looking forward to this game. It's compLexity gaming going up against Leviathan, and two, I guess you could call them the NA powerhouses that aren't EG. That's pretty specific, but anyway, I'm not alone. Hippie, what's going on, man?
Not a lot, man. I'm feeling good. It's been, God, almost a year since the last Hip Squared, I want to say.
It's been a while. It has certainly been a while, and well, we're here for the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and I'm looking forward to this game. We had some stream problems, we had some Dota problems, we had some Valve problems. It seems like the last couple days, I just can't catch a break.
Such as Dota when there's a new update, especially such a big one like this. I mean, I'm not going to comment on the content of the update because I know everyone has some pretty polarized opinions on this whole thing. Although my Crystal Maiden Arcana is adorable and I will never give it up.
Oh god, how's the puppy? Is it cute?
Oh, it's cute as hell, man.
Is it as cute as they said it was going to be?
It's really, really cute. Like the way it shakes itself off after it walks out of the river, it's glorious.
Okay, that's actually pretty great. I didn't know it did that, but
yeah.
Taking a look at the game at hand, compLexity gaming, they picked the Clockwork and the Chen, banned out the Juggernaut, Vengeful Spirit, Batrider, and Wisp, given the boot by Leviathan, so nothing too unusual there. The Wisp early ban, maybe not something we're used to seeing, but you have to remember that these are two teams from the NA region that I would presume do scrim together at least a fair amount, so there might be some extra information in there that we don't get to see.
Yeah. You think we'll see the respect Pudge ban eventually against Jenkins, or is that not something that we see ever for Leviathan?
I am not sure. If it was me, I don't think I would ban it, but that's just me. I mean, the thing, Pudge is like the X factor, obviously, right? But I think there's a lot of things you can do against a Pudge, and the compLexity picking up the Chen, I mean, that's certainly something that will help. Between Chen just pushing down towers before Pudge can really go ham. Plus, I mean, you just get so many creeps and just guard your team, right? Set up the wall of creeps while you're walking along a spot where Pudge can hook you.
Clockwork's also pretty good at countering the Pudge initiation.
Yeah.
So, and I really like the, I feel like this is a support combo, the Skywrath Earthshaker, that we don't see as much as we used to. Obviously, Skywrath has gotten a couple of nerfs since his heyday, Earthshaker as well, but I still think it's pretty damn potent. That's a very, very strong roaming combo early. Both can get on you from a very long range, so they can set up anyone with more damage, like say if your troll is mid and he just wants to put out a crap ton of damage, but also, of course, just, Fissure into Mystic Flare is a pretty solid combo as soon as that Skywrath gets a bit of farm.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I mean, there's a very potent combination there, like you mentioned, just Fissure into just spamming down the Q, and then you have Concussive Shot. You can slow them down after the stun wears off, and against a hero like a Sniper, it does not take very much after that to seal the deal and just kill him, honestly.
Yeah, the Clockwork obviously not on the squishier end of things, but also a little bit weak against the Skywrath Mage, I feel, unless he goes for an early Blade Mail. It's very easy if the Skywrath is nearby to blow up whoever the Clockwork whenever he initiates on someone, because it still takes him a second to beat his way out of his own cogs, and that's a lot of damage that's going to be coming out.
Absolutely. Certainly can be a double-edged sword there, locking himself in, then just getting just taking tons of damage from the Skywrath Mage. Definitely agree with that. Storm Spirit, another hero that's been extremely popular lately, obviously from starting in part at least from DAC. Sumail showing that hero off, but a lot of other teams have been trying to adopt the Storm Spirit playstyle, and I mean, he's a pretty powerful hero. He does need a little bit of time to set up in the mid lane, or even if you put him in the safe lane, he needs time to farm up that first major item, whether it's the Orchid or the Bloodstone. Orchid obviously much more popular recently, but you need time to get that first item, and then from there on out, you can usually just go crazy with the ganks, get a lot of kills, especially, I mean, you look at this lineup, and two of these heroes are easy kills for a Storm Spirit with an Orchid.
Yeah, and it's nice because he has that early roaming pair of the Earthshaker Skywrath Mage. It'll be much easier for him to live in mid lane if he ends up with kind of a tough lane, which can really be a problem for Storm Spirit early because he's not really... He doesn't really have solo kill potential until level 6, and even then he needs to be really careful with his bottle ticks to make sure he can get all his damage out.
Exactly.
But with the Skywrath and Earthshaker, they can give him that early level 6, they can give him that early farm, and really help him control that mid lane. I mean, the Chen, of course, can do a lot to slow him down, especially if he gets an early Harpy or something.
5
But
seconds
I think
remaining.
he'll be in a pretty good shape unless he gets a really nasty opponent in mid.
Reserve
Yeah,
time.
I would definitely agree with that. I mean, you could argue that, you know, if he faces up against a sniper and he is in the mid lane, I mean, it is possible, you know, that this is a safe lane Storm Spirit. It could be either.
That's true.
Troll is completely fine in the mid lane. We've seen a lot of teams really favor him there, but I think this is going to come down to personal preference for Leviathan. And to be honest, I have not watched enough of them to know which lane that this is going to go in. So perhaps complexity, no. But regardless, I mean, what's like the worst case scenario here? Sniper is a pretty annoying lane for Storm Spirit, but the thing is that obviously Sniper does not have a lot of HP, so the overload harass is extremely good against the Sniper.
Yeah, and even if he can outrange him, even if he's sitting very, very far back and would make it usually hard for a Storm Spirit to fight up against him or the average ganker, I mean, I know I'm going back to it a lot, but just the initiation range that both the Earthshaker and the Skywrath have.
Well, I mean, level six on the Earthshaker, or not level 6, sorry, level 6 on the Storm Spirit plus, you know, a Fisher is more than enough for Storm Spirit to get into range to kill the Sniper.
I would not put a sniper mid if I was complexity. If they just, I think the roaming power of the Skywrath Earthshaker is too strong. Now, if they want to put him mid and then defend him,
yeah, it's possible they dual lane mid with the Shadow Demon, right? And then the Shadow Demon just protects him. But then you have to take into account that they have a Chen, so maybe that's not going to be possible. So
it really depends on who the offlaner ends up being from Leviathan. If it's kind of a weak offlaner and you have a really strong safe laner, I mean, you could safe lane a sniper. And he'll do really well in most 1v1 matchups against an offlaner if you wanted to do a dual mid with like a Shadow Demon something.
Reserve time.
Yeah, that's absolutely
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think the possibility exists.
You know, my next question is really what are they going to do with the Shadow Demon beyond, you know, just protecting, because it really feels like that's pretty much all he's going to be doing right now. There's no one really to pair up with him. You know, there's no Dazzle, there's no Axe to pair up with him to initiate. I guess Chen's
he sets
okay.
up kind of nicely for the Chen stomps.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, that's probably the longest possible setup you can get at level 1, unless you land a good Mirana Air, the 2.5 second banish. Because it's not like and you don't even have to time that, like you're timing a Mirana Air or a Sunstrike or something like that. You just position your Centaur there and hit Q when it ends.
Yep, that's true. That's true. There's some potential there. Last pick here for Leviathan. They've banned out the Lycanthrope in the last round. Doom banned out for complexity. Second round, they've banned out the Faceless Void as well as the Brewmaster. Brubik and Shadow Fiend banned out by Leviathan in the second round. So interesting to see the Rubik banned out here, but there is a lot of really, really, really good spells for Rubik to steal. I mean, just having the Earthshaker and the Skywrath Mage, both of those heroes have very good spells for Rubik to steal. Skywrath can be a little bit extra mana intensive, but Fisher with 0 cast time is unreal good, so...
Yeah,
I can honestly get behind a Rubik ban just for that.
I mean, a lot of this stuff, Earthshaker in general is just a ridiculous hero
it's absurd
for Rubik to steal.
And
I mean, literally every spell is really good.
Dire team pick.
Do you think that's an aggressive tri lane? The Axe?
I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I think.
I mean, like you lock someone in with the Axe. I mean, you're not getting out of that Thunderdome.
No, absolutely not. Especially with they have the nuke damage from the Skywrath Mage. All the heroes on complexity are pretty squishy that would be in that lane. And this is actually something, last night we saw a Shadow Demon, Dazzle, Axe, aggressive tri-lane. And the other team aggressive tri-lane just to dodge it.
That sounds really mean.
I mean, yeah, that is a mean aggressive tri-lane, but this one I think has similar potential, and it could very, very easily be an aggressive tri-lane. The other thing is that it could be a troll in the aggressive tri-lane as well. And Axe could be a solo laner. Leviathan have pretty flexible lanes here, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that obviously works to their advantage, because if you're trying to... Okay, that's a nice little combo for the Shadow Demon.
This is a mid-Leshrac.
Oh, I haven't seen a mid-Leshrac in a long time. You think it's a dual mid with the Shadow Demon?
I mean, Swindle usually plays
mid-hero,
so I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could be a dual lane,
but I think Leshrac actually does fine, you know, just by himself. A long time ago, obviously... Leshrac was occasionally a mid-hero, and there was a team recently that did this. It was not complexity, but another team in the Canada Cup, I think it was Root, did the carry Leshrac. And I mean, the bad things about Leshrac in the support role is he's extremely squishy, but as a core you can start to compensate for that. Obviously you can pick up some serious HP items. Bloodstone, definitely one of the most popular, so we'll find out. We're into the game here. Some quick introductions for complexity. It's going to be IX Mike on the clockwork, Z Freak on the Shadow Demon. It's going to be Swindle Melons on the Leshrac. Limp going to be playing the Sniper. It looks like he's actually going to be possibly heading towards the mid lane. And My Nuts on Chen. Thank God he's in this game.
Ooh, here goes a smoke up top. I'm going to hold off on introducing Leviathan until we see the resolution of this. They've actually 5-man smoking into compLexity's jungle. compLexity pretty tightly packed around there. They might be able to counter in on this. I think the better level 1 goes to Leviathan, though. I'm not sure you can fight this, especially with a Chen on your team.
Yeah, Chen is obviously very, very useless. They have the Skywrath Mage. Troll is fairly good early. So is the Earthshaker. And there's the Fisher. That's going to catch Z-Freak. He's going to get concussive shot. The question is, do they really want to go all the way in for this? Limp drops down the shrapnel. Oh, no, they stack the spells. Disruption and the Splitter. It's now Nusham taking a lot of damage here. A huge amount of damage slowed down by the shrapnel, which can be spammed out now early. Shibby dropping down a remnant to give some vision. Nusham caught by the Splitter. He's going to be brought down.
Shot to hell!
And that does not work out for Leviathan. They do get a couple of very valuable wards down, though. And the question is, do they have any? They have one sentry at least to counter this. Who has the other one? I do not know. But they do have one sentry on the Chen, so he's going to at least be able to.
Has the other one.
All right, so they're going to be able to deward at least a little bit of this. And hopefully My Nuts will not be too slowed. But let's see how the lanes actually have settled here. It looks like it might just settle into dual lanes for Leviathan.
I guess they feel they can get away with it because they have the Chen there and they have the Axe, who's such a powerful dual laner anyway, that they're not really particularly afraid. And if you make more axes to hit the Axe with the Shadow Demon, who cares? He's happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he'll get a little bit of extra damage onto you, and he'll clean them up in 2 spins.
Yeah, because, I mean, the illusions still have counter helix, so pretty powerful. Jenkins just going to be manly in this lane, I think.
So assuming no early rotations coming in from Leviathan, how do you feel about the Storm versus Sniper? I think that's pretty Sniper favored.
I think it's pretty Sniper favored. I mean, I think a lot of it does come down to the ganks. I mean, I don't think you can ever really rely on a Storm being left alone in a lane like this. I think we're definitely going to see rotations in from the Earthshaker, who is already in position to make an impact on this lane. As looks like they're just going to leave the Axe alone in the top lane. They realize that he's just pretty tanky. To be honest, this should not really be an issue for him. He does get the call off on the Swindle Melons. One spin here. Look how low he is already. Leshrac just does not have a lot of HP in the earlier parts of the game.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's got the mobility to get away from the Axe most of the time, which is nice. That base 315 move speed is going to be a huge boon to him here. Oh, Jenkins, here we go.
Miss.
Oh, that could
Misses
have been
the call.
big. Z-Freak might have died right there.
Yeah, 3 creeps hitting him. That's a lot of spin potential there. Swindle Melons just going to play passively behind the tower here. Just try to farm up.
Tower is under attack.
Interested to see what kind of build we do see out of Swindle. I mean, I think the Bloodstone is definitely one of the most popular builds, and with good reason. You just want to be able to keep that Pulse Nova on in the fights. It also gives you some decent HP, which you desperately need. I wonder.
Yeah,
I feel like he's. What do you think about Lightning Storm in this lane? I feel like you might just not get it at all.
I don't think you get it, because I think if an Axe is chasing you solo, you pop the Edict and he has to run away.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing he can really do about that.
I agree.
Especially, I mean, if you have the setup, if you catch Axe away from creeps and you have the setup from Z-Freak, it's very easy to land a Split Earth off of that, and then the Edict will just tear him apart. You can see he's already got 2 points in the Edict.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. That's, I think, the way to go. I think the only way you get Lightning Storm is, like, in the mid lane, it's very powerful. And I think, like, in a try versus try situation, it sometimes is worth getting because it's just a lot of damage on really low cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, it's very useful if you're trying to, if you need a lot of counter push, as opposed to the Edict is very good against towers, obviously. It's really easy to knock them down if you can clear stuff out in front of you. But if you just need to keep someone off your tower, like say there was like a Broodmother or something, I would really like a Lightning Storm. Or like, you know, I don't know, someone else who's dropping a lot of summons on you early. I guess there's not a ton of heroes that do that.
Yeah. And, well, we're glancing over to the mid lane now, and to be honest, Storm Spirit is doing just fine here, matching the CS fairly well with the Sniper. He is losing a bit in the deny war, but that's not too big of a deal. However, Chen is coming over smoked up. Does not have any stun creeps, just 2 Hellbear Smashers, so he's going to be relying on the
Look
double
for the
flash
push up
here,
on
but
the
Shibby
shrapnel.
very far up. There's the shrapnel slowing him down. Is the Hellbear Smasher? Yes, he's easily going to be able to get there, and that's a very dead Storm Spirit. They're going to try to get a trade kill here, though, but Flying Zebra, this might be a little bit more than he bargained for. Hellbear Smasher going to miss that second clap. Going to go down, and oh, nope. Gets sent back very nicely there by the Chen.
He got the experience for one of them, which is going to be helpful for him. Obviously, that's like almost, what, a third of a level for a level 2 Skywrath?
It's definitely not an insignificant amount.
Yeah.
Oh, Jenkins is just going for it here in this top lane. Now they're going to get the splitter onto Jenkins, even though they do have the spinning illusions here. Oh my god.
There's that Edict, man. Ripped him apart. And you see Swindle actually positioning himself very nicely. There were a couple creeps kind of at the back of the line, like in this area right here. You had the Axe right here, and so Swindle's kind of hanging out around this area, so that the Edict radius, which is like maybe this big, I'd gamble, is only catching that Axe, getting max damage out on him.
Yeah.
Not a hard thing to do, but a very important one.
And he takes a lot of damage from that, easily goes down. IX Mike in the bottom lane, only 6 last hits for himself, but more importantly, he is level 4, so doing pretty well for himself. Jenkins also level 4, but after dying in the top lane, maybe going to head into the jungle and just farm up this stacked camp here.
Yeah. Shredder's farm down in the bottom isn't bad. He's 27 and 16, leading CS for the entire game.
Yeah, he's
So, I mean,
very
obviously, yeah, we're not expecting the Clockwork to really disrupt his farm a lot. How is IX Mike doing? He's 6 and 1, sitting at level 4, so not bad. Probably not as great as he'd like to be, but at the same time,
it's acceptable.
because... Oh, it's absolutely acceptable because the supports aren't really moving. They're mostly keeping the clock off of Shredder.
Yeah.
Which means that they're not putting pressure on the Sniper, they're not putting pressure on the Lesh, both of whom are very, very easy heroes to gank in the early game. They're not slowing the Chen down at all, which means he could have like an early mech if they want to fight early.
On up here in the mid lane. Level 6 for Shibby. That's their go time there. Disruption going to come down. That's going to keep Limp alive for the moment. Still going to fall down there. Shrapnel coming in. Jenkins popping off the Battle Hunger. In comes the Hellbear Smasher. There's a Centaur Conqueror right behind him, but does not look like anything's going to come of that. Chen not able to save him in time. And very, very close to level 6, but not quite having it. Don't think that would have... I don't think the Hand of God would have saved him there, but maybe some extra time for the Chen to rotate in. Oh, nice block. That's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd slow down the push. Well, they had to burn their fort anyway for top lane.
Radiant's top tower is
It'll
under
probably
attack.
die in time for them to get it off again for mid lane,
Yeah,
obviously.
it's definitely going down here, and this is the... I mean, this is what Leshrac does, right?
Radiant's top
He just
tower has
casts
fallen.
Edict, and towers die really, really, really quickly. Physical damage on that one. And a huge driving factor for wanting to pick him up. Earthshaker taking a lot of damage here. Assassinate is available, and it does look like Nusham, he's going to fall just barely, but Limp caught by Jenkins. Hand of God going to come out here. Is that enough to keep him alive? Jenkins needs some spins. Not going to get him.
It's not quite enough, that level 1 Battle Hunger. If it had been level 2, he would have been dead. But it's a shame he just didn't have the points to put into it, obviously. Can't give up leveling the spin. Now, you'll notice Swindle, I mean, something you don't really see on a support Leshrac, but obviously you're going to see on the carry Leshrac is the leveling of Pulse Nova at 6,
Yeah.
because he expects to have the farm and the mana to actually make it useful, and it's an incredibly damaging ability, and if you get it going before there's a lot of BKBs or magic resist coming up on the enemy team, you can just shred entire team fights with that spell.
Yeah, and obviously the other thing is it is not exactly a mana efficient flash farm, but definitely a way to flash farm down waves and clear out some room for you to drop the Diabolic Edict. Big smoke though by the Dire in their own jungle. Looks like they are going to be wrapping around here. Maybe they're going to find Nusham, who just trying to find
He might break the
some
smoke
space.
from the uphill. No, he's still moving away. Oh, IX Mike is there to shut him down.
Oh yeah, this
Oh,
looks very
yeah.
dangerous for Nusham. He is extremely dead here. Going to drop down the Fisher. But in comes some custom shot. Mike actually taking a fair amount of damage here. Does the troll want to actually engage on this? There's the disruption. Flying Zebra gets an arcane bolt off here, and now the troll forced to back up.
Jenkins
In
is in,
comes
look at that.
Jenkins. There is the call. Minot stuck. Eating it. Gets called. Dunked down. Z-Freak maybe going to have the same fate. No, he's going to go down, and in comes Swindle Melons. Man, he just does so much damage. Came in. HP is just gone for all of those heroes.
You have no idea how pleased I am to see
Dyer's
a carry
middle
Leshrac
tower
build
is
again.
under attack.
I love this hero.
I used to
in
play
sort of
this
a
all the
farming
time.
system. Oh,
I was
dude,
a huge fan of that.
I went mid Lesh all the time. It was a ton of fun. I actually really
Radiant's
liked back in the day
bottom
rushing
tower
Force
is under
Staff
attack.
because getting the extra
Dyer's
mobility to
middle
set up on
tower
people
is
was really
under
nice,
attack.
but I don't think it's really quite as viable ever since the Force Staff changed, 20 patches ago.
And moving forward for this Leshrac. Do expect him to tank up in some capacity. Just, I mean, Bloodstone just fits him so well, so we'll see if that's the route that Swindle goes. Tread's still very popular on this hero, even if you do want to go the Bloodstone route, just because you really benefit from the extra HP. If you pick up a bottle like he did now, then obviously Tread switching going to be very helpful as well, as this is a very mana-intensive hero.
Yeah, you can also, if you're looking for something a little more economical, like say Swindle wants to get something a little bit earlier than he would pick up a Bloodstone, or say maybe he starts falling a little bit behind, a Yules is never a bad option. The extra mobility, it's personal setup for the Split Earth, so you don't have to rely on either having the Shatter Demon or landing them freestyle or anything like that, and just the extra mana pool and mana stability to get off that Pulse Nova reliably and to be able to spam your spells for farming.
Minuts looks like he's looking for an engagement here. And he is...
Flying Zebra has no TP. They won't have a Skywrath to deal with in mid.
Minuts is working on that mechanism. He is getting fairly close. You're right, that's Skywrath. No TP for him. Shredder does have one, as does Nusham. But it looks like they're just going to converge on this mid lane. I mean, Shed Leshrac, I don't know if you can even afford to try to defend that. I think they need to just go for pickoffs to keep them from being able to group up in 5-man. Shibby may be in some trouble here. Just be careful.
I'm really worried about how complexity's lineup is going to manage to crack high ground, though. Like, Lesh has to be so close, he can't really siege. I mean, the Sniper's the only person who sieges at a distance really well. You have really good turtle potential coming out from the Skywrath Mage, from Earthshaker, and if they get this kind of early gold advantage, I mean, the comeback mechanic is still in play. You can get like one good team fight, two good team fights on the back of the Troll Wall, on the back of the Storm Spirit getting a really good fight, on the back of a good Echo Slam. There's so many ways for Leviathan to set up an insanely good team fight with the team they have.
Top lane
might be in trouble.
Jenkins going in for IX Mike perhaps, but he's going to get stunned up. Battery Assault Sniper going to get that one. Nice use of that by IX Mike, making sure he does not go down there. They get the kill on Jenkins. I think Complexity are just going to rely on an overwhelming gold advantage to break high ground. You know, if they have a 10k gold lead at 15 minutes, then maybe they'll have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, they're already sitting over 4k.
I mean, yeah, they're doing well for themselves in that regard. Obviously, I think we're going to see them actively try to get an Aegis here. There is not really any natural armor reduction, so perhaps we see the Shadow Demon consider getting a medallion if they want to go for that early Roche, but he has a Staff of Wizardry, so looks like it's probably going to be a 4-staff for him.
I actually did, since the change, does an edict affect Roshan? It's pure
think,
physical now, so it's not going to
so.
get reduced like the magic reduction like it used to do when it was composite.
I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100%.
I mean, I never see Leshrac ever, so...
Yeah. I'm fairly confident.
Maybe someone in Twitch chat will enlighten us.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Limp, going to continue farming up here for Complexity. Has a Morbid Mask. Actually, fairly underfarmed, to be honest. Only 39 CS for him, and in comparison, Storm sitting at 60.
God, okay, I don't think Complexity actually saw that smoke coming out from Leviathan, so this is really, really good game sense. You can see the people from top lane immediately bailed out. The Sniper TP'd bottom to help, you know, join up with his team. IX Mike bailed out, left the Illusions to watch. They knew something was happening when they saw the Storm, the Earthshaker, and the Skywrath all not on the map.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think, well, you know, if they're ganking us to 3 heroes, that's pretty good here. 3 heroes to gank with, so.
Yeah.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Gonna be a quick Orchid here for Shibby. No surprises there, but I think Complexity, they're just interested in grouping up and continuing to knock down towers. They're gonna do so in the bottom lane. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think they can
like,
defend
you
against
can't
this.
defend against Leshrac, Chen. You know, plus they have the Sniper in the back who's just gonna be able to drop shrapnel down onto heroes that come try to defend it. And that new shrapnel is very obnoxious.
Honestly, I would not. I mean, Jenkins really needs to play. Oh, Jenkins.
Top lane, IX Mike, Jenkins battling Swindlemon's here. Silent Stuff does not have Pulse Nova on, but Jenkins taking so much damage, he's gonna go down.
He was so close to that Blink Dagger, the poor guy. He's nested in 1900 gold. And it's so critical for him to be able to get that to try and go in on the Chen, but I don't think he can do it without an HP item as well. I think he'll just die too fast. So the fact that they need their axe to really have kind of 2 items to help slow down this push is a really big deal, because frankly, he's not getting the farm he needs. He's got 4 deaths.
Yeah, and so often we see that Blink Dagger being absolutely pivotal just because of the extra engagement it gives you. And like you mentioned, I think they do want to try to take down the Chen. Shredder. Chen hiding on the high ground here. Is he going to go in for this? Yes, he is. And Is Shredder going to be able to lift through this? Flying Zebras here, concussive shot, test of faith. Oh, there's an assassinate from the back lines. Just barely living with 23 HP. He's going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive that they managed to get him down that far with just the assassinate and the Chen creeps. So I think they're going to be pretty happy about their potential. You know, throwing one more hero right there, throw in just a couple of sniper auto attacks, and he would have been dead.
Yeah,
that's got to feel good to know you can do that.
compLexity looking to be in a good position here with Limp now, the Blade of Alacrity, after picking up the Mask of Madness. And there finally is the Blink Dagger for Jenkins. And, you know, I think Jenkins is going to have to get some extremely good pickoffs here. Perhaps they group up and just try to get a couple engagements where they can take some, you know, some 4-on-2s, things like that, where they can easily win. Looks like that's exactly what they're going to try to be doing here. But all of compLexity is extremely grouped up here. And they're just going to take Roshan down.
So Swindle's actually decided against the Bloodstone and gone for a Rod of Atos.
Oh, okay.
Gets him
I
that bit
actually
of
like
tankability,
that.
gets him that
Yeah.
intelligence, and it's...
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Jenkins moving in. There's Missing Flare. Good disruption. That's going to keep him safe, at least for the moment. That is going to stop them from rushing. Shrapnel still slowing them down. So annoying. Assassinate going to go on Jenkins. He explodes. And that's their axe down. That is a lot of their damage. IX Mike now stuck. Does have the blade mail like you were talking about. So maybe they are a bit afraid.
Radiant's bottom tower
Chibi
is
was
under
just
attack.
way too alone. And now compLexity.
That is not the Blink Dagger reveal you want right there.
No.
You go on Swindle, who I guess they probably didn't realize he had the Atos and he was so tanky. They thought they could bring him down a lot faster, but, you know, they pop the flare, lose about half of it, I would say, to the disruption, and then just absolutely nothing else
Roshan has
available
fallen
to go
the
with.
tower.
So, this is a really, really bad look when your axe is getting wrecked this hard. He needs to have an impact on the mid game because late game he's just not
He's
valuable
not
aside from the Berserker's Call.
Definitely true. And honestly, compLexity looking to be in good position here. And talking about a 10k gold lead at 15 minutes. Well, they've gotten to 7,500. So maybe that's enough to help them breach the high ground. There is one more tower available for them in the top lane. Perhaps they want to rotate up there, take that down, extend that gold advantage even more. Z-Freak has a 4-step on the Shadow Demon. And I mean, look at the comparison here between the 5 and the 2 supports for Leviathan. That gives you a good indication of where this game's at.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things I was talking about when I was saying I was worried about how compLexity... Oh, they're going to go in. They're going to get minus very, very easily here. The Storm and the Axe.
Oh, the creeps all come in. He's going to get all of the creeps, too. Oh, this is a disaster. All of his creeps down. A huge amount of golden XP actually going to go the way now of Leviathan. That is not good for my nuts.
That's exactly what Jenkins needed, too. He's picked himself up another about 900 gold. I don't know what he's going to want to go for at this point. It's a little late for a Vanguard, obviously. Even with the Chen creeps, which are usually a really nice thing to have a Vanguard against, I just don't think you do it at this point.
Although,
So,
I mean, I guess you could say the Crimson Guard is really, really good against a sniper, but that's pretty much all it's good against. So maybe,
well,
maybe you go
it's
for
good against
something
the
like a
sniper to an
BKB.
extent, but it's not really doing anything about the headshot damage, and that's his
Yeah.
primary source of damage. He's
That's
already
true.
got Mask of Madness Yasha. I'd be much more afraid of the headshots than I am of his right clicks right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, I was before that gank, I was just about to say that one of the primary turtling things I was worried about compLexity having to deal with was the axe, and he was so far behind. But that has gotten him a little bit of catch up. If he can get a little bit more farm, get maybe half an item, so he's a little bit harder to kill when he does that blink, and maybe they do have a chance to hold this. It's looking grim for them, certainly, over on Leviathan, but by no means is it over. You've
No.
got a lot of very early game focused stuff over on compLexity. I mean, Leshrac, as good of a carry as he can be in the mid game, is absolutely going to fall off in the late game. The sniper is good, but he's going to be the only real physical damage carry coming out. And then obviously the Chen, legendary for being a god tier early gamer and falling off very quickly after, you know, the 25-30 minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, compLexity, I think, need to win this game by 25 minutes, and I think they know that.
I think they've got a little bit more of a window than that just because they got such a good early lead,
That's true,
but
yeah.
not much more than 30.
Yeah.
Maybe 35 if they get a lot of good kills before they push high ground.
But certainly this game going to become much more difficult as soon as the Storm starts coming online, which now he does have that Orchid. It's a little bit late, but it has been a hectic game for the Storm Spirit. You usually like to see this just a little bit earlier. Jenkins, oh, he's going to make it out. If he had died there, that would have been very, very bad. But I think compLexity still can pretty much take these towers down without much contest.
Yeah, but I think having that Orchid
Dire's
available to go into
bottom tower
Leshrac
is
makes him
under
much
attack.
more gankable. If he can't get that Pulse Nova running in the middle of a fight,
Dire's structures are
it's going to change
fortified.
things completely. That's a huge amount of damage lost.
There is an Aegis here for Swindle Mullins, so expect him
Dire's
to have a big
bottom
impact on the
tower
next
has
fight,
fallen.
regardless of him being bursted down in the beginning, as now he drops the Hos. That's enough to
Radiant's
make
top
someone run
tower
away.
is under
Now
attack.
Fisher comes through here. Tower's dead. Just dies
Radiant's
so
top tower has
fast.
fallen.
Edict is
Wow,
a pretty
Veil.
damn good
Is
spell,
under
man.
attack.
This is a very early game oriented Leshrac lineup, though. I mean, he's gotten the Atos. Now he has a Veil coming out as well.
Radiant's
And this is it. They're just
structures
going to try to
are
go for it
fortified.
Oh,
here.
they
But
locked on
Fisher,
Swindle.
he's caught in here. Are they going to try to initiate him? I think they maybe should consider it. But does have the Aegis. A really good disruption from Zfreak. That's going to buy him a lot of time. Force that out as well. Zfreak coming through in the clutch. They're potentially a very bad situation for Swindlemons. Pretty much recovered. Now Leviathan just trying to push the creeps out of the base here. Still 3 Chen creeps firing away. Assassinate going to be very annoying from that
I'm
low
a little
ground.
surprised that Earthshaker didn't go in for an Echo Slam right there. I think Nusham could have. I mean, I guess they don't want to use it strictly against the Aegis, but I think sometimes people kind of underestimate the echo radius on that. I think if he'd echoed on the close side of the Fisher, he probably would have caught the Chen and all of his creeps too, which may have been worth it if they could burn the Aegis off it.
Yeah, the problem now is the tower is dead, and Swindlemelon still in possession of that Aegis. Does now have the Veil as well. We'll see if they're able to get a decent engagement here, as they're just going to continue pressuring. Silenced up, but after the Edict is cast, and that's not going to do too much. Not very helpful. Veil is going to go down the engagement now by compLexity. In comes IX Mike Playmail. Nusham's dead. Does not get off the Echo Slam. Does not have buyback Jenkins. He's gone down as well. And Troll, he falls, buys back immediately. Jenkins buying back on the axe coming in. In comes Chibi, trying to bring down Swindlemon, who is going to die once, but that's only the Aegis down. This feels very bad for Leviathan. They need to push compLexity out of the base, otherwise they are just going to lose these barracks very quickly. Mech on cooldown, Hand of God on cooldown. Maybe that's enough to make them back up, but it doesn't look like it.
They need that Earthshaker. They've still got 5 seconds before they can hit. I'm not afraid if I'm compLexity of Leviathan unless there's an Earthshaker available.
Yeah, I agree.
He's the only thing that
But
is
they're
gonna
going to
have
get the
any
melee
chance to
barracks
win the
here. I think no matter what, they're going to stick around and try to get this melee barracks. Very, very important that they do bring that down. Are they going to be able to do it is the question.
Well,
Now
staying
they
in.
have
Nice
Nushem
fingers
to go
separating
with
people off.
theirs.
Jenkins got 2.
Great disruption, though. That's going to be minus available. There's Echo Slam. Does not look like too effective, but Swindlemon's taking a lot of damage, but he's still alive in the back line. Shibby has gone down. Limp going to work now. IX Mike trying. It's in the middle of the fight, and a great engagement there by Jenkins. Unfortunately, he's still going to go down. Nusham getting a double kill. Mike going for it, gets a double kill, takes down Shredder. compLexity, a very hectic team fight in the end. Only Nusham alive for Leviathan.
And it's off.
And
It was a pretty good Echo Slam, I feel like, and they just still couldn't pull it off. But the
just wasn't
sniper's still up.
yeah, the sniper just standing in the back line doing tons of damage. And are they going to try to take down this melee barracks? I don't know if they can deal with Nusham at this point. Fisher, probably too much. It looks like they are going to back off here, but man, what a shame that they're not able to get this melee barracks, because this is going to regen, and it regens extremely quickly.
Yeah. Several buybacks burned over. So let's see here. The Troll, the Axe, and the Skywrath all are on buyback cooldown now.
Yeah.
So if they can get another push going, and I mean, compLexity didn't have to burn any buybacks for that.
No.
So if they can get another push going, maybe on the mid lane or something, let creeps push in the top lane, if they can get the just kind of a siege going. I think there's some pretty good potential for them to take down another set of racks, or at least another ranged racks, and that would be pretty damaging to Leviathan's potential to kind of hold this game. You do have the Force Staff finally on the Earthshaker. He did get a lot of good gold from that fight, especially because he didn't drop, so he's got that positioning tool now, which makes him a much, much, much more dangerous force with that Echo Slam.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the thing is you consider those buybacks, and compLexity make out very well in that fight, extending their gold advantage. Even when they live in the mid lane, going to go down here, caught out. Shadow Demon, is he going to go down as well? They need a call. There it is. Zfreak going to fall. Well,
Oh, they get a
they lose
gem
the
off
gem
that.
for that. Wow, that's not good.
That's a really, really big deal.
That's going to take away some of the extra map control that compLexity could have pressured onto the map just by having that gem dewarding continuously. There really are not too many Radiant wards down. Do see one here, but I think that's about it. Oh, there's one over here
There's a
as
couple.
well.
We got yeah, it was hiding under a map icon for one of the heroes.
Yeah.
So I don't think he actually got anything out of that gem. I'm pretty sure he just
wow.
bought it.
He actually, yeah, he did just buy it for sure right after that fight and did not get any dewards, it looks like. Well, that's unfortunate for compLexity. I think, I mean, if you're compLexity, I think you just wait for the next Aegis and then you go for it. So after that, it might be a little bit too late.
I think you have to keep putting pressure on around the map, though. I don't think you can just kind of back up and farm.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think
you
you want to touch
definitely
high
can't.
ground, but you need to kill these heroes in the meantime. Because you've just given them a lot of recovery farm. Shredder, I mean, he's not super farmed, but he's got Sanjiasha and Helm of the Dominator. He's actually just behind the Sniper by like 100 gold. The Lesh is leading nicely at about 11,000. But you almost have 10,000 up on that Troll, so he's definitely getting something done. The Storm is right up there as well with 9,500. So you give these heroes much more farm, they're still going to be a very, very dangerous force, and that Sniper has to be really, really terrified of a Storm Spirit with farm. Anyone who can get on top of Sniper from a long distance, especially with a Fisher to kind of disrupt the rest of the team, cut them off from the Sniper maybe, if the Storm just jumps over it and blows him up, what are they going to do in these fights?
Yeah, this Storm
Especially once BKB's come out and deal with that Pulse Nova.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty crucial item for Leviathan. If they're able to get up the BKBs, then I think things are going to be extremely difficult for compLexity, and looks like it is going to be BKB next for Shredder. compLexity must know that their time is limited here.
Force staff on Axe, actually. It looks like Jenkins has gone away from the idea of I'm going to be the big tanky dude who they have to go in on. He knows he's too far behind to deal with that. So he's getting the force staff not just for himself, not just to protect people, but now you can get the double force staff on that Earthshaker to try and force him in for an Echo Slam, so he has a doubled initiation range. 1,200 units is pretty solid. It's, you know, a blink, basically.
And we've also seen a much higher preference for this blink force staff build on these axes. I think slightly as a result of that nerf, the Aghanim's isn't quite as attractive as it used to be.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen this build come out yet. Has it been pretty successful where you've seen it?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I mean, it's not, Axe is definitely a little bit different now. He's still extremely strong in the early mid game, but I think in the later parts of the game when we just saw dunk after dunk after dunk on his supports, don't see that quite as much.
I can get behind that. I was getting tired of that hero, not gonna lie.
Clockwork just trying to find himself some more farm here. Maybe he does want to build towards an Aghanim's.
Another smoke coming out from Leviathan. Caught 4 heroes, and it looks like they want to go towards the Ancients. They're going to see this ward on the way by, so they can come back and counter with that afterwards. This could be terrible, though, if they walk uphill into 4. Oh, the counter smoke is huge!
Shibby moving in, but he just has to zip out. He knows that he's in a lot of trouble. There's the Mystic Flare, but 4 step away. Shibby way more than he was bargaining for. Zips in, sees 4 heroes, zips out, hook shot onto Jenkins. Looks like he might go down here, 4 step. Ix Mike gonna follow him with that battery assault. Brings him down. Nice play there by Ix Mike.
Gem's in the river, did they not notice it? Did compLexity not see the gem? Wow. Okay then.
Well,
Looks like they just didn't care.
compLexity is going to go back in here onto Roshan. They want to be able to bring this down, and there's the answer to your question. Edict taking down Roshan pretty quickly. Mike trying to push everyone away, create a little bit of space here, but without BKBs, I think moving in on this is pretty much suicide. So looks like it's going to be another Roshan for compLexity, and Shibby is not in position to steal this.
Roshan has fallen to the dire.
Yeah, I think it was nice for them that was a pretty fast spawn too. They didn't have to wait a long time to get in on that. So now they have the potential to go in again. They got the nice. I think they want to get a pick off though. I think that the turtle power is starting to get very, very strong. With
killing
the
Jenkins or killing Nushim, I think is the dream for them.
I think Nushim is the big one, but Jenkins would certainly help. Yeah. Although the Storm, if they can pick off Shibby, that's also pretty decent because it frees up the Sniper to play a lot more aggressively, basically, if he doesn't have to worry about getting zipped in on by the Storm.
Yep, fair enough.
Also, just something something we just didn't really touch on, but we don't see a lot of Clockworks, but 4 staff is god tier against Clockwork, and I didn't mention that when we were talking about the double 4 staffs.
Yep. Ix Mike, we saw in the last fight, does have a 4 staff of his own, so able to follow them if they do try to get out of those cogs. Oh, Earthshaker has a blink dagger now as well. This is a huge deal for the Earthshaker. Now potentially he can jump in and still live through the fight, get another Fisher off, 4 staff himself out. So plus blink echo on all of these Chen creeps, extremely good.
You can see him trying to hide it in the trees so they can't possibly see it.
Are fortified.
I think they know it's there now. Swindle just standing in the front here with this Aegis. Now Shibby going to initiate. They do still have the disruption in case they need to do anything. Oh, they use the Mystic Flare onto Illusion Clockwork. Looks like this barracks is just dead.
Attack.
Yeah, they don't want to engage. There's a really nice spread coming out from compLexity. I mean, they know
Radiant's
they don't
top
need to commit
barracks
anyone
has
besides
fallen.
Swindle. And he's tanky enough. He's got 1,800 life now. He's picked up a point booster, probably going towards... I saw him disappear. Oh, it was Test of Faith. I was like, does he have a Blink Dagger too? I'm staring at his inventory. Where'd he go?
Yeah, he has boots of travel now.
Yeah, so he can just TP right back into that mid lane, I think, is what they want to push next.
Absolutely. I mean, this is it for compLexity. They know that
Oh, he's gonna go bottom.
with this Aegis, they're going to have to do some serious damage, and it's very, very soon the BKBs are going to be up for Leviathan, and that's going to really negate the power of Swindle Melons. So they need to make moves here, and it looks like they're going to. They're going to try to get the top lane of Rax and the bottom lane of Rax, and really just put Leviathan in that position where you have to defend two opposite ends of your base. Very difficult to do that, obviously.
I'm actually really surprised that with all those heroes right there, Jenkins didn't kind of YOLO taunt the Leshrac to try and burn off that Aegis, because they had the ward. It was watching the clockwork. They saw like 2 or 3 heroes like rotating around this area of the map. I think they could have gone and taken out that Aegis. I think he's just a little bit timid. Kind of gotten blown up for most of the game.
Minot's scouting around with his creeps. I think he wanted to push the mid lane forward a little bit with those. And now I don't even think you really want them involved in the push. They just make the Echo Slam even better. So he's going to be using those in the mid lane.
2 minutes to use that Aegis. Soul Booster now picked up on Swindle, so sitting at over
Dire's
2,000 life. He's
courier
got
has
16
been
armor.
killed.
Courier pick up. Sneaky Jenkins. What was on it? Nothing. All right. Here they go. They got the fish on Swindle.
Mystic's Flare going to be stopped by Disruption yet again, but Shibby now going to be forward. Swindle Melons still alive in the back line, still with that Aegis. Needs to be healed up, though, I think. They have the mechanism available. They're just going to send him back. BOT's in. Runs forward with the Pulse Nova.
Yeah, they're trying really hard to get a very, very careful pick off on that Aegis so they don't have to deal with it. They're not committing very much. Shibby just kind of zipping in, zipping right back out. Trying to get him with the fish or the Mystic
that's
Flare.
pretty much
The
impossible.
Disruption is wrecking
Yeah,
them
Disruption,
on that.
plus he just gets sent back. BOT's back in now. He's here with the Pulse Nova. Shredder now has his BKB. They need to win this one. There is the heal. The Hand of God coming out. Limp caught. There's the mechanisms as well to try to keep him alive for a little bit longer. No, he's going to go down. Double kill for Shredder using that BKB, but now Swindle Melons, they're going to have to deal with the raid boss. Echo Slam going to go out. Pulse Nova here as well. There's the Split Earth. Shredder taking so much damage now. That's the Aegis down, and he is all alone. Everyone else from compLexity is dead. But is that... I mean, Swindle Melons just has to back up now.
Radiant's middle tower
That was a
is
really,
under
really
attack.
excellent engagement from Leviathan. That was a really incredibly well-placed call by Jenkins, too. They caught 3 heroes right on the edge of that thing. I mean, like 100 units to the left, he would have missed a hero. 100 units to the right, he would have missed a hero. Very, very well done. And managing, I don't know what, they managed to kind of lock off the Leshrac thanks to the Fisher and thanks to the focus that was kind of the troll being between him and his team. So he wasn't really able to get in there and help with the heroes that were shredding everybody else because the troll's just saying, come on, come at me, man.
Shibby now has his Bloodstone completed. And that might have been the corner that Leviathan needed a turn here. Hard to say for sure.
I think it's
big
still
items
gonna be
are
a
still
little
being
tough.
picked up by compLexity. In 3 minutes until the next Roshan, compLexity are going to have their eyes on the next one. But Aghanim's Hand of God puts it on a 30-second cooldown.
Yeah, always a wonderful thing. And he can get, if he wants to, one of those, well, I mean, a lot of the Ancients are kind of overwhelming, mostly because of the move speed, but getting their hands on a Granite Golem can be absolutely massive.
This one right here, I mean...
Yeah, you can see Limp leaving it for him.
Yeah, because that one increases HP, and that aura is extremely good.
Yeah, 15% HP is nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, look, he's leaving it right there for Minots to grab. That's going to be big.
Got himself
That's actually...
Golem.
He's got an aura build of creeps going right there. He's got the HP
he
aura,
really
the
wants
armor
the Alpha
aura,
Wolf, I think.
the attack aura. Yeah, I would ditch probably the HP regen aura for the Alpha Wolf if he could get his hands on it.
It's definitely going to be a goal. There is one up in the Radiant, or in the Dire jungle, rather, but...
He's in pretty good shape, though, for just playing really passively with creeps and kind of spreading them out, trying not to get them all Echo Slam.
Absolutely, and spell immunity on this Granite Golem, definitely nothing to sneeze at. And there's the Bloodstone done for the Leshrac. I think they need to find a way to kill Shredder here before the BKB goes off. Are they going to be able to do that, though? Shibby moving in onto Limp. Jenkins does not get the blink onto the high ground. He's stuck on the low grounds.
Oh, Shredder getting that Demonic Purge coming off. He's going to take a lot of damage from the Sniper. Gonna get 4-stepped out, though. Going down to about half life. Hopefully, his team can kind of spam out these creeps so he can regen up, but they don't really have a lot of good creep clearing power. aside from the Axe, he's got to kind of be in there to make it happen. They can't do it from a kind of a back position.
Yeah, Cinnamons.
Radiant's middle
Back
tower
line
is
now. A
under
little bit of miscommunication though for compLexity. Swindle is there alone. He goes down. Echo's playing in the back as well. And this is really bad for the compLexity team. Now there's the heals coming out from Minox. Mechanism and Hand of God both used. Minox running forward. Axe though in the back line is able to take down the sniper. Minox running through the base. This got his creep, but he's going to go down. Disaster for compLexity. Swindle walks up. The rest of the team walks back. He gets engaged on. They cannot keep him alive. There's no Shadow Demon disruption to keep him alive. And he just dies immediately. And compLexity, that was a huge mistake.
That could have been... I mean, the one fight was really good. It kind of got Leviathan back on semi-even footing. They were still a little bit behind. Does that actually put them... Oh, God. Look at the gold swing in the past, like, 5 minutes. They've dropped about a 4,000 net worth advantage. It's probably going to keep going down a little bit as they get a little bit more farm over here on Leviathan, where they're free to just kind of run out and farm up. What do you think the Axe goes for next? He's sitting on 3,800 gold.
I mean,
Is the Axe still worth it post 4
I
staff?
don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it seems like it might still be worth it. 550 is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Could, I mean, I also could see him just going for like a heart.
That certainly would not hurt
A
at all.
BKB also seems.
Oh, he just
plausible.
misses that rose spawn. It's about to spawn in.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
There it is. These have been incredibly short Roche respawns. Very, very advantageous for compLexity.
You know, to be honest, I think getting this Roche is one of compLexity's last chances now. As look at the gold difference, down to 4,000. It is going to be a BKB for the Axe. Makes sense.
Yeah, I can get behind BKB on every hero on this team. Like, and I don't think there's a single person who would not be well served by it. Not that I think the Skywrath's going to go for it. I think he's going to pick up another 4 staff, frankly.
Oh, they're going to engage there on Cinnamons. Can Chibi actually kill him here? If he can, this is a huge deal. Hand of God come out. There's the finisher. Down goes Swindle, and now he's down to 3 Bloodstone charges. compLexity, I think their snowball might have just hit an uphill. I'm not sure they can make it up it.
This is the risk of playing such a push-heavy lineup in this current, state of Dota. I mean, it's just so easy to have one bad fight. You have to basically rely on losing maybe one fight for the entire game. Now, they're certainly not out of it. They still have plenty of gold on some of their core heroes, but the Sniper kind of falling behind both the Storm and the Troll. And there's just a little bit more late-game potential over on the side of Leviathan, I feel like. I mean, the Skywrath is going to scale up as the game goes on. The Axe to hold people in place for both the Storm and the Troll to just kind of wail on. And the Gen getting a little bit less effective with every passing minute. It looks like they are going to get another Aegis, though. Maybe on the Sniper this time.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Sniper finally getting some extra damage in here, but oh, they're going to be caught in the pit. Oh, very good force
that's
out
it.
there, but Limp, he is very, very stuck in the wrong side of town. Mike going to try to break up this engagement. There's Aegis used for the while taking all the damage. Silent stuff here is going to go down. compLexity, disasters. They get caught all over the place near the pit. Now Limp going to try to make it out. There's the call on Ice Mike. That's not going to land on Limp, so he's not going to be able to get the advantage of just being stuck there. Oh my God, Limp going to work in the back line, but still compLexity losing the Aegis. Shredder taking damage. He's going to go down, gets assassinated. Shibby cleaning up. Sniper is still alive. Minox is still alive. Nusham going to try to make it out. Just have the Blink Dagger and the 4 staff. He's fine.
Has Shrapnel looking for him right there. Wow. That ended up being kind of an even trade post-Aegis, but you picked off the Aegis off that. Did they burn the cheese? No, Chen still has the cheese. Okay. So they still have something from that Roshan, but not having that Aegis, I mean,
That's
they've
a huge
relied
deal.
so much. Well, especially, even having it on Limp instead of Swindle is a really big deal for them, because Swindle could just... You saw both times they were able to push the top lane. It was because Swindle was standing there with an Aegis, and they couldn't engage on him. They had to play very, very carefully around him, because if they commit at all, they're going to get hookshotted, cogged, all sorts of terrible things are going to happen. So he was able to play the frontline position. Sniper can't do that, Aegis or not. You get on top of a Sniper, he's useless.
Does have a BKB now. Maybe that will let him live through the fight a little bit longer, but he only has 1,300 HP.
Yeah, I still think... It depends really on whether or not the Storm... If he pops the BKB before the Storm gets the Vortex out. But at the same time, I mean, if you can get your Troll has a Blink Dagger too now, which I really, really like when you're playing against a Sniper. I mean, in general, it's not a bad item on Troll, but you really need that positioning help to kind of engage on the Sniper. I think between Axe and Troll, they can kill the Sniper no matter what, and the Storm can just deal with Swindle.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one. And Swindle, now a very, very sad Bloodstone holder, 2 charges, and certainly not where you want to be when you have this Bloodstone down to 2 charges. You're dealing a lot of that regeneration, and item's not nearly as good when it only has that many charges.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. I mean, it's an aggressive item, and I don't disagree with the fact that he picked it up in this game. They were playing a very aggressive team that was counting on snowballing, and it's decidedly a snowball item. So the fact that he went for it, I thought was really solid, but at this point, it's been pretty thoroughly shut down.
Yeah, and MyNuts is just stacking granite golems here. Has 2 of them now.
I mean, that's a little weird, but at the same time, the spell immunity, letting them kind of just walk up and hit the towers, that's a big
I imagine, you know, I'm not an expert on ancient creep auras, but I don't think that the auras stack.
No, does
but
the aura affect itself? I assume it does. So he doesn't need 2 to get the bonus on them.
But the bigger thing I think is the spell immunity. Just them being able to walk up the hill with 2,500 HP is still pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, they don't swing for a ton, but they have 8 armor, so it's pretty tough to bring them down. If
I mean, you just sit them on the buildings and smack the buildings down with them. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if the troll goes in to commit to try and stop the granite golems, they've got bigger problems.
Yeah. Moving forward here, compLexity looking a little bit complacent now. I mean, they're in trouble.
I would like to see them smoke and try to pick someone off, but at the same time, Leviathan is really moving his
caught by Shibby, down to half HP, still, Hand of God, gonna come out here. Can Swindle live through this? It does not look like he, it's gonna be so close. Now is Shibby the one who maybe is gonna go down? He's zipping through, he's gonna suicide. To the Bloodstone, Swindle Melons is still alive with 150 HP.
He is so lucky that his team was able to force staff into position for that, because he was just done. There was no way he should have gotten away from that, but in the end, it ended up working. I'm pretty shocked, quite frankly, that he lived through that.
I mean, that was definitely very close.
So, I mean, what do you think compLexity's options are? I mean, I've said I think they should try to get a smoke, but at the same time, Leviathan playing pretty tight on most of their heroes, and there's a lot to overcome that I'm not sure a single smoke pick-off prevents.
I mean, they're in some trouble now, to be honest, and there are a lot of buybacks here for both sides, only Skywrath not having it for the Radiant side. I'm not sure they can kill all these heroes twice. Sindelmons now is, I mean, Leshrac, this is the biggest issue is in the later parts of the game here, he definitely falls off.
Yeah,
I mean, BKB's just turned the hero off, basically. He can still kill buildings, but
Edicts will still be putting out some damage, but absolutely, I mean, this is your safe lane farmer. This is always the risk when you run. Oh, they're gonna get the axe. I mean, and actually, oh, he doesn't have buyback. He must have just bought something. No, wait, yes he does. I'm crazy. I'm used. I look for the gold rim now, and it's not there, so I was really confused.
And we now have this very fancy buyback indicator, 545 surplus.
That is so nice for my pub matches. I hate having. Oh, they're gonna go on Swindle again. Completely separate from the team. They know that they just killed him up top.
Does not have a lot of mana.
Out of mana.
He had a
He's got friends coming in. Swindle wants to fight.
Uh-oh. That's more than Swindle wanted. Shibby, that zip, I tried to follow it. That zip went all the way across the jungle.
Yeah. All right, Chen creeps are gonna get bailed out before they can get picked off. Good move. But I mean, without Swindle, you can't push.
I think they just have to hope to God that this sniper gets unbelievably farmed and gets the perfect engagement. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, he's not doing bad, certainly.
He's not doing bad. I mean, I guess if he can just sit in the back and just, you know, if he sits in the back for 10 seconds, then I think they can win the fight. But I don't think Leviathan are going to let him do that. I mean, you mentioned the blink daggers. They're clearly putting a lot of emphasis on bringing down the sniper.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how you have to play against the guy. If the guy sits in back and just picks at you, you're going to lose every single engagement. Yeah. I think honestly, Mike has to make some really big plays in kind of any engagement going forward, because the clockwork is the closest thing you have. I mean, Leshrac is a nice frontliner, but he's not really that disruptive of a frontliner. He's putting out a lot of damage, but if you can get past him,
I mean, he's just like a wall,
he's not really
right?
a big deal.
Yeah.
But the clockwork can actually kind of go in, push people around, stop them from being able to engage, get those little mini stuns going, keep the blink daggers on cooldown. He's a lot of ways to try and keep the sniper safe. So I think the pair of keen folk right here really need to do some serious work.
Well, IX Mike, no stranger to the clockwork, that's for sure. We'll see if he's able to pull this one out. See if he can channel his inner Bulba. I'm sure he would kill me if you heard me say that.
He'd probably just choke the life out of you.
But, you know,
Mike is a good clock player.
With flair.
we'll find out if he's
It was
able.
kind of his legendary hero when he was on Liquid, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, Bulba was the big clockwork player for them.
But I thought they both played into a pretty...
post Bulba, when Bulba like switched to
Yeah.
support, then Mike played it
Yeah.
more. When
I
Liquid
mean, he had
started
some really good
crumbling.
showings.
And Swindlemon's, he's farming very aggressively. Shibby is on the other side of the map though, and I think that's really the big hero he has to be worried of. compLexity, I think they just are waiting for the next Roshan, honestly, which is going to be another quick one.
Yeah. I mean, do you give it to Swindle or do you give it to Sniper now?
I think you have to give the Sniper.
I mean, like on the one hand, I like the fact that Swindle can kind of walk up and just kind of say that. Maybe they can get Swindle the cheese, which would be really, really helpful for him. Although Minot's is
give
still
him
sitting
double
on
cheese.
it. He doesn't want to. Well, but he doesn't want to give up any of his item slots. It looks like. I think he's trying to get. Yeah, there's his BKB.
Okay, so
What did
now
he
I
drop
think
for
now
that?
you can give a Swindle the double cheese, and I
Yeah.
think he can just stand there, and then you can give
Yeah, he
the
becomes very hard to
the
bring down.
Aegis to Limp. Because with the BKB, I mean, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get at least one cheese off.
Yeah.
Coming in.
It's about to spawn. Yeah, they're just sitting here.
No, yeah, they're just waiting.
I mean, Leviathan got a really good engagement around the Roche Pit last time. If they pull it off again, they're gonna get Swindle.
forward.
No!
Swindle stuck. There's the Echo Slam going through. IX Mike tried to disrupt it. Four steps all over the place. There's the Ghost Scepter. Now Shibby's coming in. Are they able to bring him down? A lot of damage. Limp, he's just going to town. This is the sniper we're talking about. If he can just get some damage here onto every hero, he's just clicking away. Just right-clicking his way to victory. Honestly, Limp going ham. Still has the Assassinate available. And I don't think Nusham... Oh my God, the Blink Disjoint. That was so lucky, honestly. What a time for that to work. Come off cooldown.
So they trade 2 for 3 in the end. They still have the Troll, so it's kind of hard for compLexity to take a really serious engagement because you have the Troll and the Earthshaker, and you don't have the Disruption to try and save the Sniper if he gets gone on. So if you get like a Fisher Blinken from Troll, he can definitely still go down.
I think
But
they're
it
going
looks
to try
like
to
they are
take...
going to go for the rope.
Yeah, they're going to try to take Roche. They can use these creeps.
Shibby's back up.
If they can use these creeps to just kind of scout out. You can send one of them to see exactly what's going on over here. Limp going back up, and I think they know what's happening. Shudder moving forward. There's the Orchid on the IX. Mike Limp pulled back. He's going to go down. Minuts, he might be dead as well. There's no pull here for a couple seconds. Hex is on cooldown with Minuts. He's just getting... Oh, four step to the high ground. Uses the cheese. Trying to make something happen here, but Shibby going to follow him up. Nusham going to follow him up. He gets brought down. Limp going to buy back. And I think compLexity know that if the Aegis goes the way of Leviathan here, they could be in some serious trouble. Swindlemon's going to BOTs in onto the Chen creeps, and they're just going to go back into the Roche Pit. They think they really want this, but Shibby is available here to try to zip in and steal it.
Well, and everybody is up on the side of Leviathan. The only thing they don't have is the Echo Slam.
Oh, but the tier
They're losing
4s are
base
dying
tower.
to creeps. There's Jenkins,
goes
BK
Jenkins.
being up. Link, no, Limp just gets some right clicks off. That's no blink for him. Now Limp, he's used his BKB as well, though. Oh,
God,
man.
the longer Leviathan stays here, that second T4 is almost dead, dude. It's 600 light.
It's taking a lot of damage now. Base towers
Radiant's middle tower
taking
is
damage
under
here.
attack.
The tier 3 taking damage.
There's still a siege creep wailing away at that thing. I think it's going to go down. This is going to be a vulnerable throne for Leviathan. I don't think this
Oh,
is
yeah,
worth
this
the
is
posturing.
definitely dead. And they're just
You've
waiting.
won fights against the Aegis at this point. How can you give this up?
Radiant's
Now
middle
finally
tower-
Flying Zebra's going back, but he
Radiant's
doesn't have a
middle
TP
tower
scroll.
has fallen.
And the tier 4 is down. compLexity have to feel okay about that. Shibby using a lot of mana here to try to scout out exactly what's going on in the Roche Pit. Very, very sketchy to try to Roche against the Storm Spirit because, you know, despite your best efforts, it's actually fairly easy for him to steal it, especially when he has these items. He's so powerful, has a lot of mana. And now they're going to move forward. They're going to try to bring down Ice Mike, who uses the Ghost Scepter. That's going to keep him alive, at least for a little bit, but finally he goes down. And is that enough for compLexity to move into the pit here? I think compLexity are just okay
Radiant's
with these
ancient is under
with these
attack.
them just sitting there because, I mean, look at their base. Look at the throne.
Jenkins CP'd out. This disengage is not happening. Shredder, 3 BKBs popped immediately. Looks like Newsham's gonna get wrecked. He barely gets off the Echo Stun, only really hits Z-Freak. Gonna have Frogwave actually coming in on Shibby. This is a disaster for Leviathan right here. He still has the buyback available, but now that's a free Roshan for complexity, and that is exactly what they wanted.
And the Ancient is at half HP. Half HP Ancient.
Oh my god, I thought that initial buyback that they did on Limp was going to be a wasted one because I didn't think they would get anything out of it, but the creeps pushing in top just got so much done.
I mean, look at this, dude. I can't even believe that. Leviathan letting their throne get to half HP. That's an assault grass for the Chen. And honestly, the sniper could just click this a couple of times and they'll win.
Yeah. Actually, it looks like they did end up giving the Aegis to Swindle. I think they should have had it on the sniper and just had the cheese available for him, but I think either way, it's going to be very, very hard for Leviathan to... If they get distracted, I mean, if you just do kind of a slow siege on bottom lane and force the creeps in top, eventually there's got to be a split engagement going because you have nothing in the way of those creeps just taking out your Ancient. So as soon as there's somebody not there, you just engage on whoever matters and blow them up.
Now complexity looks like they are positioned to do just that. What a wild game we've had. I mean, I'm not going to say that was a throw, but Leviathan, Jesus, some definitely failed judgments there. I mean,
isn't it just overcommitment and overvaluing? It's hard to say you overvalue an Aegis of the Immortal, but I feel like you can win against the Aegis with this team. Like, I don't think it's worth 2 T4s to try and stop them getting that Aegis and then give it up anyway.
They're smoked up. Oh, they're going to go for the wraparound. They're going to go for the victory here. You see Swindle drawing on the map. They're going to go all the way around and in.
I think this is risky. Oh, if they can get the troll, though. He has his BKB
very far out. There's the Atos. The Fisher going to help him disengage, but Mike moves forward. Newsham is dead. No buyback. Echo Slam on, just ready to go, and him dead. That's not what you want for your Earthshaker. And now Swindle, I think, has decided it's time to march into the base and try to end the game.
I'm not sure what Leviathan does against this. I mean, Jenkins has to get something perfect. There's the
moves forward. There's the BKB. But is that going to be enough? Limp taking a ton of damage here. Not going to be able to do anything. And this is maybe why you give him the Aegis. He's going to go down. Only one down. Shredder taking tons of damage with the BKB out in the Ancient. All the meanwhile taking damage from creeps. Down goes the Storm Spirit. He buys back immediately. And Shibby's gonna go all the way in to try to kill Minuts, but now he's left with not that much mana. Gonna finally get the kill, but caught by IX Mike in the cogs. He's gonna be able to make it out, but just barely, and he is all out of mana. The battery assault gonna stop his TB. That's a dieback for Shibby. He goes down. 4 heroes dead for Leviathan. Swindlemelons taking damage from Shredder, but that's an Aegis. Just the Aegis down, and I think that might be the opportunity here for complexity. 3 against 2. The Axe is alive. But the bottom lane is dead. The middle lane, the tower is dead. It's almost gone. Jenkins going to move forward onto Swindlemelons here, but with that Pulse Nova going, I'm not sure he wants to do that. Now Mike taking damage. Shredder here. Is the BKB off cooldown? Yes, it is. Jenkins pops his up, walking forward onto Swindlemelons. Shredder. Oh, I'm getting lag.
Oh, God, no. This might be the server. I got the lag, too.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
Oh, my God, this pause.
Oh,
wow.
Thank God we're paused, though. Oh, I almost just had a heart attack.
I think the game is so epic that it's crushing the server.
And we'll find out here. Shredder going to move forward, turns on the BKB. Mike stuck here. Pops off the Ghost Scepter, backing off. Swindlemelons moving forward. Look at Jenkins take the damage, but Newstrom is here. There's the Echo Slam, the Fisher as well. Is that enough to win them the fight there? He turns on his BKB, trying to back up. Does not want to go down to Swindlemelons, whose now only priority is to get Mega Creeps into the base of Leviathan. Their throne is taking so much damage. I don't think they can live through the onslaught of creeps. Just the pure amount of creeps here is unreal. IX Mike standing in the front, gonna click away. BKB turned on for the Leshrac, just wants to get them into the base, get the throne taking damage. Shredder, he's gonna go down, buys back immediately. That's the troll. Mike cogs himself off, and there is the good game for Shredder. They can't deal with the creeps in the base. In Leviathan, it looked like they could have won that game, but some questionable decisions. and the game goes in favor of compLexity. What a ridiculous game that was.
And to think that back when we were initially looking at this game, we said if compLexity didn't win by 35 minutes, then they would be out.
I mean, they should have. Come on. You cannot say that compLexity should have won that game.
I know, but at the same time,
No way they should have won that game.
No, but at the same time, though, if you look at like the way they use the buybacks around the Roche pit, like Limp buying back, when he initially bought back, I looked at that and said, what a waste. Because what's he going to do? I mean, he's going to TP in, they're just going to be right there, and the Storm can just kill him again. But then there was so much time wasted by compLexity. They managed to posture and position so well around that Roche pit. And Leviathan, I mean, they committed so hard to the Aegis not thinking about the base, and that was certainly a misplay. But you have to remember, with compLexity putting all of that pressure on that Roche pit and valuing it so highly, Roche turns games. So I can't really blame them. I can't say I wouldn't have made a similar decision under that much pressure, you know?
Yeah, and well, unfortunately, cost Leviathan the game. Well, guys, you guys are watching the Dota 2 Canada Cup. What a game. Another one coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But thank you guys for watching. I'm What Is Hip from High Ground TV, at What Is Hip TV on Twitter. With me, Hippie, at Hippie Casting, Hip Squared. And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Not sure if Mott's going to take over the stream, but we'll find out sooner rather than later, and we'll see you guys soon.